Morning folks, I've got an update on my digital minimalism journey for you, and we're going to talk about going back to using a mobile phone, using a smartphone, not a flip phone, and also we're going to talk about going back to social media, because I've done both of those things in the last 6 months, and very interesting results. I've been doing this experiment really to experiment, right? Because there are so many factors involved in this decision, and I'm sure lots of people will look at this kind of video and be like, why are you wasting so much of your time thinking about this? But for me, it plays a huge role in my work and my access to work as a neurodivergent person. I want to be able to use the internet, to use the online space in a way that is sustainable to me, that doesn't negatively impact my mental health to the point where I just really can't use it, because I need to make money, and I have so many things, so many projects that I'm creating that I want to share and sell online, but I'm not doing that because I'm so overwhelmed by social media and feel like I need to be doing it in a certain way to achieve my goal of making money online. Anyway, let's take this piece by piece. So the first thing is I went back to using a smartphone. I was using a flip phone. I don't know if it's still here. Where is it? I was using it for a good 3 months and it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. And if I could, I would remain using, I can't find it, but I would remain using it. But I had to go back because I just found that so many of the things that I need to operate in life now require apps. And it was kind of ridiculous how much time I was spending and energy I was spending on navigating life without my smartphone, just because I didn't have the day-to-day access to apps that I needed to operate. And as a neurodivergent person, I spent so much time and energy just navigating life as it is. And I found that using my smartphone was just making that process more difficult for me. Using my flip phone was making that process more difficult for me. So I ended up going back to predominantly using my smartphone, which has been the right decision for me. And every now and again I'll switch my sims and I'll go back to my flip phone and I'll use that for a week or two as a break from just having constant smartphone. Or if I have a day where I really need to focus on getting something done, or I just don't want to be distracted by my smartphone, then I'll use my flip phone for that day. And so people can still call me if they need to, but it's not as distracting. And I think the biggest thing I realized from that experiment with trying to switch to a flip phone full time is that it's not, for me personally, it's not the phone that's the issue, it's the apps that are on the phone. So for me personally, having social media on my phone means that I will end up spending hours and hours and hours and hours on my phone. I can tell myself as much as I want that that's not going to happen. I can tell myself that I will have restraint. I will be able to monitor and realize when I'm whiling away my time on social media and scrolling without really wanting to, but just doing it because it's addictive. But I can't. I just can't. It's just not something that I can do. I always get trapped. And the really interesting thing is that since I've been back on my smartphone, I have then also decided to go back to short form social media, so Instagram, TikTok, those sorts of things, because I wanted to see whether or not it was my phone or it was the social media. And I wanted to see if I could make money on short form social media, because I'm having such a tough time finding jobs that suit me in the sort of real world because of my access requirements around being neurodivergent. And I have a lot of the skills that I need to be able to create content. It's like the perfect job for me, really. And the one thing that's really holding me back is the need to be online all the time, because I find so quickly that when I go back on social media and short form social media, I get sucked in and my mental health just takes an absolute nosedive. And it almost happens without me really realizing it. It's so subconscious, the feeling of comparing yourself to other people constantly, But mostly for me, the amount of information overload and the number of new ideas that I'm exposed to is just so dangerous for my brain. Like, I find that it makes me feel as though I'm not happy with where I am and what I've got. I find that I end up picking apart so many aspects of my life that I otherwise would not think of negatively or in any way. It's very subconscious, but I just can't help, it just happens. So I really struggle with consuming media sensibly. And also I just don't really enjoy consuming short form social media. Like, if I think about the reason why I'm doing it, it's because I'm trying to escape something in my actual life. Like, you know, feelings that I don't really want to experience, or even just boredom and not really knowing what else to do. And when I was off social media for 8 months, I became so good at just figuring out what to do. And I had all these hobbies and I had all this excitement about my actual life. And that just goes immediately away as soon as I get social media back. So it's social media that's the problem for me. And I really don't know how to balance that knowing and also the desire to be a creator online and make money from what I know that I have to share with people that will help people. Like, I know that I have stuff to share that will help. I know that I have ideas for good things that I want to, like products and all sorts of things that I know I can make that will help people, but it's the sort of mode of getting that to people that I struggle with a lot. That's the broad brush. And so where I'm at now is like, I don't fucking know. I've got no idea. I'm also trying to find jobs in the real world to see if there's anything that I can do that requires less of a focus on the online world for money purposes. But ultimately what I really want to be able to do is to support myself online, because it's the most accessible thing for me with needing to be at home a lot, controlling my environment, resisting autistic burnout. It's also what I love to do. I love it. I love creating videos. I love connecting with you. I love coming up with solutions and products that I would need, that I think therefore other people need. I love sharing what I've learned to help other people on their journeys. Like, all of that is what makes me feel alive and what makes me feel like everything is worth it. It's, again, as I say, just the method of communication. But what I do really enjoy and what I don't find overwhelming is YouTube, like these long form videos. And there are aspects of long form video making content that I do struggle with, which I will share in another video another day. But I think that this is where I can see myself hanging out and it being okay, you know? So we'll see how we go. But that's where I'm at currently. And I guess I just want to share, like, I know that nothing will ever be perfect, and there's no like perfect solution to living in this digital age, in this digital world where you're surrounded by all of this simultaneous opportunity, but also overwhelm. And it's so, I thought that I could like navigate it and be like, well, I know that I'm risking my mental health and I know that I'm spending more time online, but at least I'll make money. At least I'll be like, you know, working towards a career online. And I see so many other people do that, and like, if I do it well, then I can be that person too. But the thing that I keep coming back to time and time again is that you have to just be aligned with how you actually feel about things, because guaranteed most people who are living that sort of life online, who are making loads of money online, don't have the same thought processes as I do. Like, sure, they might be also addicted to social media, but maybe they don't care. Maybe it doesn't affect them. Maybe they don't think about these things in such great detail. Maybe they don't think about the morals of like constantly advertising to people online or selling people's attention to other companies. Maybe they don't think about like all of these things that weigh on my mind so much. And so this is my mind and me telling me something, which is that like yes, whilst there's an opportunity here, and yes, you want to try and work out how you can create things and sell them online, like maybe short form social media is not the way to do that, or it's not the predominant way to do that. And I have to trust that there'll be another way of doing it that will align with my way of living. And that's so hard. But I think that that's a lesson that we can all like broadly take on board, like trusting that what's meant for you is meant for you, and not everything is meant for you. And that's okay. Yeah, I don't know if this makes any sense, but this is where I'm at. And I wanted to make this update video on that sort of digital minimalism journey before I continue to talk more about where I'm headed. Because I kind of just left you guys high and dry on that topic whilst I was figuring out what it means for me to be someone who aspires to living in the real world, like it aspires to digital minimalism, but also really needs the online world in order to like live out the kind of dreams I have for myself, and also literally to make money to survive. So yeah, I'll see you in another video soon. I'm thinking of maybe making, I don't know what to say. I'm such an all or nothing thinker that this is probably not going to happen because I'll just burn out, but I'm thinking of just making these kind of chatty update videos like every once in a while, as opposed to having like, I don't know, making like extensive, long, well edited vlogs, because that's part of the thing I don't like about the online world now. But anyway, I'll talk about that in a video. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.